What's going on, you? This is Instructor Mike. You can follow me on Facebook at Mike Brown or Instructor Mike. Follow me on.
It could be you as a citizen, and you walked up and you see somebody. Look heavy. I don't know. Special, that must be. But it's good to know that this can handle the high pressure rounds of the flooding. Ready to go.
Make eye contact with me. He's still trying to get it open a couple of times.
So tail.
I tried a little bit of something. What's going on, you all? You all notice a difference in the camera? Is it lighter? Is it darker? What's going on? What's going on? You say you were just on YouTube? Yeah. I don't know what's up with my voice. I don't know if I'm losing it, getting hoarse or whatnot, but I'm going to drop the link. So I said tonight, we were going to talk about, you said cool intro. Thanks. What's going on? I'm going to drop the link. I want to talk about, hey, John, I know you're also out there too. John, if you want to come in, I could send you the link. I know this is just an impromptu show. We didn't go live last night, but I'm definitely going to be streaming more now, not just on Wednesday, but also on just more. Because I appreciate you following, not just on TikTok, also on YouTube as well. I wanted to talk about, do y'all see you said that it's neutral? What does that mean? What does that mean? I got a new camera, so I'm trying it out on my computer. It's actually nice, but it seems like I'm darker, as if I need it to already be darker. I mean, I'm even to get that light that shines a little bit, but I don't know. I love the quality of it. So, yeah, and I see the difference. I tested it out before I decided to go live. So, hope you all are having a good night. I want to talk about disparity of force. If you know what disparity of force means, what does that even mean? We often see, the camera's good. Okay, thanks. We often see, because of the colors, okay, that's a thing. It looks better on YouTube. Okay, I'm watching both TikTok as well as YouTube. Those of you who are on TikTok, if you want to come over to the YouTube, because I'm going to drop the link, and you guys can come up, send it. I bet. I'm going to drop the link for everybody to come up. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to let everybody up, but we'll see what happens, I'm sure. I want to answer some questions, but I also want to ask some questions too, because there is a difference between civilian use of force and police and law enforcement and military use of force. And I think that one of the things that I see people doing is they'll tend to, how do I say this? Because a percentage of your instructors are law enforcement and military, they tend to relate, they tend to relate or correlate law enforcement use of force with civilian use of force. And they're different. They are different. So I just dropped the link, right? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. Hey, what's going on, Danielle? How are you? Those of you all who are watching my YouTube, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, if you don't mind. Make sure you hit that smash button. Thank you very much, Christy. One of my moderators. Matter of fact, the primary moderator. Always appreciate your service. Always do. Always do for real. So, but let's get some people on in the back. So that way we can go on ahead and have this robust conversation, because I like it when I invite you all in. Okay. Yeah. So I like it when I invite you all in so that we can have this conversation. about use of force. That is something that needs to be talked about because some people just don't understand what's going on, Vicky. Some people just do not understand when you can use force. When you can use force. I appreciate that. You said, thank you for taking your time to educate us. I'm young, but I appreciate this because I can learn while I'm young. Absolutely. I am of the belief that a wise person, a wise person seeks to learn from other people's mistakes. Smarter people learn from, their mistakes, but a wise person seeks to learn from other people's mistakes. Shouts out to Dominic Cantanella. Shouts out to the USCCA. You said text you the link. Hey, I dropped it, John. Matter of fact, you on YouTube? John, I'm going to drop it again. I'm going to post it because I'm live on TikTok on my phone. Matter of fact, I don't have it within reach. I don't have it within reach. See if you can hit the link. Veteran, watch and love what you do. People need to learn how to handle firearms properly. Outstanding, outstanding. Yeah, the link is there. I'm trying to go to my YouTube page so I can pin it to the top. I hope you all are having an awesome, awesome night. I really hope you all are. I didn't think I was going to do the doggone cover. Let me pin this link to the top. Yeah, bam, there it is. All right, so the message is pinned. And if you all want to come up, if you come up, you got to cam up. Hey, Instructor Mike, here in New Jersey, working on getting my concealed carry. One more knowledge and practice before I go to it. You said, what's your TikTok so you can follow me? So if you are on TikTok, it's Instructor Mike, or even Yes Mike said it. If you're on YouTube, same thing, Instructor Mike. Okay? I'm 64 years young yesterday. I have a gun. That's good, Diane. That's good. We want you to get to 74 and 84, or however long you'd like to live. Yeah. John, did you get it? Was it Mario S 6227? You're heartwarming. Wow, thank you. I appreciate that. You said you're trying to rock the baby to sleep. Well, you about to get the baby woke up because we're about to make this show live. That's typically what happens when we do go live. I don't see y'all coming. Oh, there we go. Guardian Concepts on deck. What's going on, sir?
What's going on?
What's up, man? Let me fix this real quick. What's up? You sound like you got some Dark Man X going on in the background.
Chilling, brother, chilling.
Outstanding. All right, here we go. So anybody else that wants to come up, feel free to come up. Thank you for the cowboy hat on you, TikTok. So here's some questions I got. Should you take a punch? Should you get in shape? Should you take some form of martial arts, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, learning how to fight? John, what do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, essentially, yes. Again, we've talked about this a billion times, but I mean, obviously, we'll keep talking about it. It's one of those things we don't choose when the fight comes. We never choose. We try and mitigate it as much as possible, but we don't ever get the choice. At the end of the day, if somebody wants to attack, they're going to attack. Okay. Majority of that time, those attacks are going to come at contact distance. They're not going to come from 40 feet away. They're going to wait till you're not paying attention, and then they're going to jump. If you're walking around carrying a gun, again, thinking that you're wired up and good to go, you're sadly mistaken in that, you know what I mean? You're going to lose.
Marquise, if you want to come up, come on. The link is there, bro.
Yeah.
What's up, Marquise? Shouts out to Marquise Miranda, P6 Firearms Training. Please go over and follow his YouTube channel. You all he blesses this page so much. Continue, John. I'm sorry about that.
And it's not one of those things. I mean, like I seen Marquise's comment. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily. I can say I agree with Marquise. It's not necessarily martial arts. You know what I mean? But you need some type of combatives in that allows you to defend yourself long enough to where if you need to either create distance and get to your firearm, it gives you the ability to do so. Okay. And then obviously being in shape helps in all aspects. Because if you're gassed after 5.5 seconds of, clinch fighting with somebody, guess what? You're going to lose. You're already gassed.
Okay.
And now you're going to pull a gun, thinking that you're going to defend yourself with a gun and take some shot when you're already freaking hyperventilating. So, taking the first punch, that I don't know about. There's context to that. You know what I mean? There's context to that. Again, we get into disparity of force. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Got Shaquille O'Neal getting ready to blast me in the face. I'm going to have to think twice about taking that punch.
Yeah. We hear this term talking about use of force continuums. So sometimes people don't understand. Thank you for the gift on TikTok. Sometimes people don't understand about this thing called the use of force continuums. And I want to put this on the screen, which I'm getting ready to share this on the screen now, because as soon as you Google use of force continuum, I want you to see just how many variations are out there. Take a look.
It's insane.
There are so many variations of use of force continuums. You got civilian use of force continuum, use of force model, which tends to borrow from law enforcement. There is no dedicated use of force continuum. Now, I know you all are going to be saying something in the comments. So I'm going to look at the comments quite shortly. See if I can go ahead and kind of zoom in on this. Again, this is listed, Stun and Run Self-Defense. Shouts out to them. This is in a Google search, all open source information. Civilian use of force continuum, Stun and Run Self-Defense. Again, borrowed from where? Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. Okay, Professor Gregory J. Connor, use of force, PTI, University of Illinois. So you've got compliant. This is subject action versus officer response categories. And I think in talking about that, if you all will indulge me, let me see if I have anybody else in the back before I continue with this. No? Okay.
Need to send the link again in the chat. It's too far up for Marquise to jump in.
Oh, I'll send it again. Thank you. Marquise, I just dropped it. All right, here we go. Use of force continuums. When you talk about subject action versus officer response categories, you have compliant, cooperative controls, passive, resistant, contact controls, active resistant, compliance, assaultive, defensive tactics, and assaultive where there's serious bodily harm or death, deadly force. Okay. And then there's another type of, if you're ever taking PPCT, which is pressure point control tactics, it kind of simplifies it to where you have some type of officer's presence, which provides a psychological intimidation, verbal direction, verbal resistance, right? Hands-on soft control for a passive resistor. Passive resistor is defined as somebody who pretty much tries to they're not necessarily actively fighting the officer, but they are defeating attempts to actually get arrested, right? And then I'm going to show you where this connects as it relates to civilians, right? Then you've got your active resistor, which is a person who's actively trying to resist. They're not trying to fight, but they're actually pulling away. And then you would get your hands-on hard control where you're actually doing takedowns and arm bars and, a bunch of physical stuff, which is designed to maintain control and could inflict some sort of pain. Then you've got weapons that are actually used against the officer where you got batons, not batons, but I'm talking about sticks, knives, things like that. Knife would be more so considered deadly force, but more so your fist, type of edge, blunt weapons, things like that, where you've got the response being taser, pepper spray, baton. Then you've got deadly assault, deadly force control. So when we look at this officer's use of force continuum, we look at Graham versus Connor, Tennessee versus Gardner, objective reasons for using the force, all because of what? The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. For those people who don't understand what the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution is, right, that is the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against government intrusion. And that can't be, in essence, messed with unless there's some type of warrant or probable cause or a warrant where it specifically outlines the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Okay. That was a lot for y'all. Y'all like, wait a minute, what are we talking about here? You've heard some of these things. And I'm saying all this to say how civilian use of force differs from police use of force. At every level of force, there must be a justification. There must be a justification. Because you're talking about government intrusion or government intervening into the rights that private citizens have to actually be free from that government intervention. And so, because we're talking about that right to be free, right, from that government intervention, every level of force must have a level of justification. But then when you're talking about civilian, we need law enforcement to take fighting classes, things of that nature, understanding how to use not only just deadly force, but non-deadly force, verbal direction, all other kinds of things, because they need to be able to handle themselves at every level of that intervention. But should a civilian have to take a course, though? We're not talking about should they in terms of, yeah, they actually should, maybe or maybe not. But can we hold that same standard to an 87-year-old woman?
And there's the question.
Can we hold that same standard to a 12 or 13-year-old little girl or little boy? Marquise is up here. What's going on, buddy?
What does it do?
It does what it should. Does that same standard measure up? Because I've heard some defense attorneys, and that's a thing in itself already, right? I've heard some defense attorneys say that there is a principle called proportional response. Self-defense law requires that the response to a threat, in essence, match the level of the threat in question. In other words, a person can only employ as much force as required to remove the threat.
On the physical aspect, though, problem is that everyone's, thought processes come into play and their mental capabilities come into play. Their life traumas, their life experiences come into play. That's the other aspect, and that's the reason why none of it can technically be standardized, because every person is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're like, again, we referenced their life traumas. Okay, were they sexually abused? You know what I mean? Were they beaten as a child? Was it domestic violence? Are they a combat vet? You know what I mean? Again, it depends on their life experiences. So that's the hard part when we talk about self-defense, you know what I mean? And should everyone, you know what I mean, take these types of courses or qualifications, or what's the word I'm looking for? Marquise, what's the word I'm looking for? None of it's an actual course or a certification per se, but training, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you know what I mean? Yeah, we obviously recommend that people take this type of training, but to sit there and require it of people is going to be hard.
And here's this. I found myself even going back on some of my own statements. Matter of fact, I'll read you something that came from finelaw.com. imperfect self-defense. I had a problem when I read this, and I'm going to read it to you. Sometimes a person can have a genuine fear of imminent physical harm that is objectively unreasonable, right? So there's that word, objectively unreasonable. In other words, what was the objective we were trying to achieve? And this thing is determined as unreasonable. So there's reason, right, and reasonable. Reason. We all got a reason to do something. Is it right? Is it legal? That's where you have the legal analysis. But then this level of, or this analysis of that which is reasonable versus that which is unreasonable is typically determined by the triers of fact, being the jury or a judge in a bench trial. And so, well, we can get to that because I want to hear what you got to say, Marquise, right? If a person uses force to defend themselves from the perceived threat, the situation, and I got your question, Dominic, we're going to get to you. The situation is known as imperfect self-defense. Imperfect self-defense does not excuse a person from the crime of using violence, but it can lessen the charges and penalties involved. Not every state recognizes imperfect self-defense. However, here's the example in question. For example, a person is waiting for a friend at a coffee shop. When the friend arrives, he walks towards the other person with his hand held out for a handshake. The person who had been waiting genuinely fears that his friend means to attack him, even though this fear is totally unreasonable. In order to avoid the perceived threat, the person punches his friend in the face. While the person's claim of self-defense will not get him out of any criminal charges because of the unreasonable nature of his perception, it could reduce the severity of the charges or the eventual punishment. What do you find is the problem in that statement?
The word friend.
Yeah, the word friend.
You said the word friend. Oh my God.
The word friend. If it's your friend and I'm expecting my friend and my friend shows up with a handshake, my intent to punch my friend in the face does not exist. That's fucking stupid.
I mean, that goes back to the reasonable person test. You know what I mean? Which is essentially what prosecutors look at when they're trying to figure out if they're going to charge someone or not. You
Right. And why the hell would you fear your friend?
Based off of the circumstances of the incident, would a reasonable person be in fear of their lives in order to press the trigger?
So
Yeah.
I see your point and I raise you this. Let's just say this person, like you said, John, because of their past traumas, you know how sometimes people play games and certain things like this. Is it possible? Is it possible for Marquise? Is it possible for you to have your hand out like this, and then when the other person attempts to extend their hand, pop, they've been smacked in the face?
The word
especially amongst
friend.
siblings. Especially amongst siblings.
Well, now I get what you're saying, the word friend, but what I'm saying is this. Let's just say that was their trauma. That was their trauma.
Okay.
Right?
I'm
But
sorry. That is the
saying-
most far-fetched story. That's the most.
Well, maybe
horrible-
you didn't get punched, Marquise, because I seen pictures of you in Ailita at 2015. Shit, looking straight up like a fucking Marine, like you're supposed to. So no one punched you. But I'm just saying, right? We got somebody, because we have to understand, or we should understand, especially as instructors. And here's a problem that I see when I see other people with great levels of training, great levels of experience, great levels of fighting skill. I was looking at an Instagram page of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. I won't say his name, don't need to. I don't know how many of you all seen the video of
He was shot and killed by a police officer?
Huh?
Was he shot and killed by a police officer?
No.
Oh, this
No.
ain't the one from Brazil then.
No, not from Brazil. No. But the guy, the Asian guy who was behind the counter, two guys come in masked, trying to sit there. Yeah, guy jumps over, has a knife, and this Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy is sitting here saying, oh no, this is the reason why you need to fight. there's no reason why you would assume that this person would be a deadly threat. There were other type of tactics. And I'm like, wait. Just because, matter of fact, there were some SF guys that were saying some stuff to that nature too. And I'm like, for you to be an SF, for you to be a SEAL, for you to be this, for you to be that, for me to be law enforcement, there was a need for us to have to take the courses that we took because the government was injecting us into danger. They were injecting us into danger. So if you are going to be injected in that danger by your job, there becomes a duty for the government to at least half-ass train you, whether they all the way train you. And then depending upon that level of injection and depending upon the zero fail mission, right? There's a difference between Marines and the Army. There's a difference between Navy SEALs and just basic infantry. Infantry matters, but you got what? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 battalion size, platoon size elements, division, corps, army, where you got SEALs, maybe 10. And they're going into deep cover shit. They got to be able to succeed. We have to reduce the casualties because we spent millions of dollars into these people. We can't have them all going to get killed. That's a waste of money. Does that make sense?
True, but there's one other factor that all those guys spoke about but didn't realize.
Sure. Your finger? 2 fingers. Don't, Marquise, go.
2-on-1.
Huh?
It was 2-on-1.
Sure. Of course it was 2-on-1. Right.
It was 2-on-1. It was 2 guys. The one guy jumped over. When that guy got stabbed, the other guy ran like a bat out of hell. You had a disparity of force.
Sure.
It was a 2-on-1. So whether or not if he had birth trauma, baby mama trauma care, trauma con, it don't make a difference. 2-on-1, he addressed the fact that it was more than one. Mm-hmm. He did something that most people don't understand.
Yeah.
To stop a war or to stop a battle, you got to do something so devastating on the other side that the other side is like, wait a minute, maybe we should leave this person the hell alone.
Right.
So that person jumped over.
Mm-hmm.
He got the Ginsu special.
Sure.
The other guy ran like a bat out of hell. And he even said it. And this was the only sad part was the dude was like, I'm dead.
Right.
He said that out loud. The guy getting stabbed was like, I'm dead.
Right.
Like, oh, well, this is when we make better choices with our lives.
Absolutely.
But all they saw was, man, that's why people need to learn how to fight. It's 2-on-1. Name one. If I have, again, I'm taking jujitsu now. I understand certain concepts. There are certain things I'm not going to do. Like, I don't know, put myself on the floor on purpose. I'm learning how to fight on the floor. Yes. Is it more tournament based? Yes. Is it something I'm researching for law enforcement classes? Yes. Because technically with law enforcement, everyone's screaming and crying about them striking. So I'm trying to look at something else different to help out law enforcement and security. That's why I'm doing my research and that's why I'm taking the classes.
Sure.
But, and I do mean but, a 2-on-1, I'm sorry, that's a disparity of force. And now you're allowed to bring equalizers into the equation. If his equalizer was a knife or a baseball bat, the only difference is if dude would have took a full home run on dude's head, would you be complaining as bad if he didn't use a knife?
Yeah.
So it's just literally what choice did the person make that people bitch about? When you look at what happened in Oak Lawn, well, they beat the hell out that little boy. They beat the hell out of a little boy who was trying to grab a gun.
Right.
Who was 17 years old.
Right.
They didn't beat the hell out of the little boy because of his ethnicity. They didn't beat the hell out of that boy because they was having a bad day. They beat the hell out of a boy who was trying to reach for a gun inside of a bag and wouldn't let go of the bag to get his hand off the gun.
Right.
So you bitched and complained that he got his ass whooped. Wasn't shot, wasn't stabbed, no billy clubs, no tasers, but you still bitch and complain that he alive to talk about and sue the harsh treatment he received while trying to grab a gun out of a bag.
Well, that's the kinder, gentler world that everyone wants us to live in.
Shit.
I mean, we've been over that 1,000 times. You know what I mean? Everyone needs something to bitch about 24/7. Otherwise, they have nothing productive to do with their lives.
Let's look at Dominic's question. And Kevis, is it Kevis or Kivas?
Kivas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to pop in and comment, please feel free. Honest question. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just taking it all in right now.
Okay.
I think I'm in the same belief system as the previous guy that was speaking. It's like, you know, at some point you have to look at, I mean, just look at the video. It's 2-on-1. Even if I'm on the side of, even if it was 1-on-1, he was the one getting attacked. So, you know, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Okay. Here we go. Dominic, ask a question, honest question. When it comes to the use of force as a police officer, we are always trained to stay one level below or at the same as the assailant. I was always taught the one up, not the one below. But okay, let's go.
That might very well have been old school though, Mike. New school.
You're right. Can't say that. Here we go. When it comes to a civilian, does that rule still apply? Reason asking, if you are one step above the assailant, are you deemed the aggressor?
What's your definition of steps?
I would say context.
And that's what we were talking about, right?
Yeah. What's your definition of steps? Because months ago, I shared, well, Mike just put up the use of force. I shared with him the circular one because I don't like the one that's linear. I think the linear one is a very bad practice because it's not telling you that you can go at any step. It's always a bottom and it's a top and there's a middle, but they don't tell you that you can start in the middle, you can start at the top, you can go to the bottom. Like the one that I shared with Mike, which he showed on the screen, it shows a part that says de-escalation or what's the word I'm looking for? Disengage. It shows disengage. I did what I had to do. Now I disengage.
Yeah.
I don't have to go beyond that. So when it comes to that level, so to speak, I would have to ask the context. Are we talking about, and let's be real, if a person brings a knife out, why would I take one step below that? Why would I not take the step up and go with a gun? Not to be funny, I'm that dude. You've played this game your whole life. It's called paper, rock, scissors.
Yeah.
No one ever said, okay, well, for some reason, rock doesn't beat paper because paper can cover the rock. Sure. But that was the rules and the context about what was the step up. So just imagine it. That's the perfect context of the step up. In paper, rock, scissors, a step up from rock is paper.
So let's look at this. What do you think of this one right here? This is one from CCW Safe. You see where it's got avoidance, situational awareness, threat assessment, seeking assistance, action, and deadly force.
That kind of, I'll say, I think that kind of goes along with USCCA's level of awareness.
Now, when I look at this triangle, this is what I don't like about the triangle. When I look at this triangle, who am I talking about?
Shapes.
No. Who am I talking about? Am I talking about me or the aggressor? Because the aggressor has those same steps.
True.
The aggressor can avoid you if he or she chooses to. They can use their situational awareness to figure out whether or not this is a good time to come at you. They can make a threat assessment based on your size and what you look like. If they brought a buddy, they can seek assistance. And if they feel like they got the upper hand, they can take action. And if the actions don't work, they can do deadly force. That's why I don't like linear.
But here's the question too. You are right. Who's to say if I see you, right? And this is one of the things that I hate about when I think I told you guys, and maybe I don't want to say that word. But here's one of the things that I dislike about people who are experienced and trained. You got to have both experienced and trained in martial arts, defensive tactics, beyond just that basic. I got the course and I got exposure to it. People who are martial artists, like they're really good combatants, empty hand combatants. You got years of practice. You got all these different things. And so I don't know if you all seen, like in law enforcement classes, I can't show the picture because it's so grotesque. But there was a police officer, and I want to say one of the southern states. Could have been Arizona, southwestern states. 5th degree black belt. You remember the story, right? Put up his pistol. Guy had a knife. And he got into all these little things and got his body sliced up. Now, he is still alive. He'll never do that again, though. Like, you're only as good as your last encounter. And so taking that and looking at it in a civilian context, the police officer can say he's had some level of training. The department can say he's had some level of training. But I caution civilians, and if anybody, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I caution civilians to fight with the fat you have. Does that make sense? Fight with the skills you have. In other words, if you have no skills and you reasonably assume or believe that if this person even gets close to you and they put their hands on you, you could possibly die. Like, there are medical conditions that you know you have, the other person may not know you have, the world may not know you have. And so if you're always thinking about what a jury would think, they're not in that situation with you. What would the judge think? They're not in that situation with you. Last time you tried to fight, the shit didn't work out. You threw a punch, they beat your ass. Last time, the time before that, you tried to fight, you didn't see the banana peel, and you slipped and bust your head. Like, fighting is not in your fighting is
DNA.
That's not your thing.
It's not your it's not your DNA.
Yeah, it's not your thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like singing. You sound good in the shower, and to those who love you, but everybody else, don't do American Idol. Like,
yeah, don't do karaoke.
You know.
Matter of fact, if you do karaoke, make sure you have drinks on the table so you have an excuse.
HD Beast on TikTok 82 said that's why I own guns that shoot better than I do. It gives me an edge.
You know what? Hey, do you have the circular one I sent you?
Let me go. I gotta go to my Facebook and get it. So you texted to me. You sent it to me through Facebook.
Yeah,
right?
I sent it to Messenger.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind,
my thing is
conversation while I go search it.
Because something, and like I said, the whole thing about the tool belt, knowing to have more than the skills of a gun, you're supposed to have a tool belt. Your tool belt starts with your brain and your mouth. Your brain is going to let you know what's going on around you. If it don't seem right, it don't smell right, get the hell out of Dodge or keep on moving. Your mouth, hey, you know what? For some reason, you got into this encounter. Maybe you can talk your way out of it. You know, maybe you can say something smooth, you know, not to be funny. Look at little goofy movies like Superman versus Batman. When dude said the word Martha, that stopped the whole fight. That was like, what the hell? Why do you know that name? Who is Martha? Martha's his mother. Oh, we can be friends now. Let's go skip and have cotton candy. That was the whole movie after that. It was like, come on, man. But it took something. The ability to talk your way out of a situation is critical. Now,
I got it right here.
The other better way of avoiding situations of, I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
No, I would say, or the ability just to swallow your pride.
Oh my God. What's that like?
I would say that's like a brain shock right there.
Yeah. You know, don't let ego, I hate to say it, we're going to go old school. What my mother used to say, don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash. that was life. That was real.
You see it?
You know, yeah, I see it. And this is the model that I sent to Mike, and I think what's his name? He's with Viper.
Oh, Jacob.
John, his name John too, ain't it?
No, Jacob.
Jake.
I used to always say John Jacob Jingleheimer. Yes.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah.
So I sent this to Jake and I sent this to Mike. But the reason why is that, like I said about the linear model, who does the linear model talk to? Versus this model, which puts you at the center and the situation dictates your actions. So as a, like say, for example, if a person is being compliant, what am I worried about? If they're showing a little bit of passive resistance, now I can go into some communication. And then as you swoop around, there's a thing called police challenge, AKA, let's use our words. They show active resistance. Maybe I need to use my empty hands, my hand techniques, my impact weapons. But no matter what, disengage is at the top left corner. No matter what's going on, I can always disengage. It's always an option.
And I like that. I like that. I really do. Because there are some people who feel and can't wait. And I got to be honest, when you sent this to me, I saw it and I was, you get so fixed on the things you've been trained that it took you to explain this. And this makes sense. Like you see where it says serious bodily harm or death. You don't always have to shoot. Like you might just be able to get out of there and create distance to do nothing. You can escape with your life.
Yep. And it's always an option. And this is why I say I don't like the American version of the use of force models, because we're always using linear steps, triangles, boxes. Everything is always about, and it gives the wrong impression, showing that there's levels. Like, dude, it's not levels. It's a circular thing. I can disengage in any one of these things, no matter what. The person being compliant, I can leave. The person being passive resistant, I can leave. They're showing active resistance, I can leave. They're being assaultive, I can do what I need to do and leave. They're showing serious bodily harm or death, I can do what I need to do and leave. Now, depending on the level, after I do what I have to do, if I have to stay around, I have to stay around. But again, there's nothing wrong with disengaging.
Right. Because you're not. I say that the firearm is typically, if you really look at real encounters, civilian encounters, even involving police have a duty to stay on scene after they've discharged that firearm, because there's a Fourth Amendment process to this. There's the seizure of this body, because anytime you have used deadly force as an officer towards a person, you have to seize the body, because the force itself is the seizure. And there must be an analysis of that seizure to see if it meets the requirements, the constitutional requirements set in Graham versus Connor, Tennessee versus Gardner, things of that nature, and other applicable case law and or policy procedure. But as a civilian, you don't have a duty to seize that body. And because you don't have a duty to seize that body, you really can disengage. Like, you're not pop, you shot. You're not waiting to see if this person has expired. If anything, take the wallet. You're using it to buy more time to get out of there.
Yep.
All right.
So, JFB, you just answered your own question. Because of the fact that you just said that you can't outrun the person, you just presented yourself with a disparity of force.
Yes.
All right.
So you answered your own question on that one, JFB, but thank you for asking that question. Where was the other question that I saw that I was trying to answer to? Because I saw it And I was like, wait a minute, that's very interesting.
Hear that also?
Say again, Q, who do what?
Oh, TJ, good deal. TJ on TikTok said
that also
got pulled over and wanted to say thank you. TJ on TikTok, did you do what you saw in that video when I said put your hands right there? Did it work for you? Keep going, guys. I just had to. Yeah, that was cool.
What did I see? Okay, yeah. So I guess JFB. So yeah, I hope to answer your question, JFB. The fact that you are, if you feel in any way, shape, or form you are at that disadvantage, no, bro, you ain't. You just presented your own case. That's a disparity. You're not going to be sitting here trying to run and do all the other good stuff if that's an inability of yours. So you have to do what you need to do. But damn it, I saw something. I think Dominic said something.
No, I'll go back up. Oh, you got the ability to go back up too, right? Yeah. So Dominic says, can we agree use of force models when it comes to a PO is for the purpose of gaining custody? Well, you know what? Go ahead, Marquise. Go ahead.
I would say, in my opinion, it's more about the situation, controlling the situation. Okay. I'm not going to say because everything isn't about gaining custody. I probably can do the same things I need to do without having to gain custody. So say, for example, I'm a police officer and I see two young men having a fight. Now, what I can do based on that situation, I can get in between them. I can stop them from fighting. I can have a conversation on why they shouldn't be doing this. And maybe if it's at all feasible or possible, hey, let's go get a hot dog or something real quick down the street so y'all can talk about why y'all don't like each other. Now, I'm not trying to gain custody. I'm trying to control the situation. Right. So in my opinion, I don't know. And again, this is me talking as a civilian, never been a cop. I trained them and I trained security. But in my opinion, is it more about controlling the situation than custody?
And that deserves more context because it depends. Okay, and I want to go to law and crime, but I can't because they like to. Whenever you use their stuff, they cry. Like Dan Abrams, that's his name. They cry when they. But I just got through watching the video of a murder suspect who called. It's fucking funny. He calls McDonald's. He calls the police because the owner of the McDonald's and this guy gets into an argument over the fries being lukewarm. He wanted fresh. Yeah, he wanted fresh fries.
Yeah.
He wanted fresh. You saw about this shit? He wanted fresh fries. And I'm angry at this one. And
because he gave him fresh fries.
No, now I give a damn about the fresh fries. You know, hey, anybody who eats at McDonald's, you know, McDonald's fries got a shelf life anyway. So you got to hurry up and eat them shits. And that's it. But so what happens is, and by the way, if you're watching YouTube, do me a favor, hit the like button, please, please, please. It helps the algorithm. Thank you. Same thing on you all on TikTok. Please hit the like button if you're watching.
I got you, Mike. After Mike, I got you, Michael. After Mike is done talking.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make this quick because I could try to be long. Here we go. Situation unfolds where it's the McDonald's owner calls on the guy. The guy calls on the McDonald's owner. Why? I don't know. But police gets on scene, right? He talks to the guy, finds out that, you know, it was just a customer management dispute for the most part. And he was going to talk to the owner of the McDonald's. The guy who's wanted for murder, cop doesn't know it yet. He grabs the name in DOB because we're able to run it by name in DOB, run the subjects that we're dealing with because it's a report matter. And so he goes in to talk to the owner of the McDonald's. Owner says, look, I just want to give him a refund, and that's that. I'm not going to give him fresh food, as the other gentleman was asking for. So the officer runs the name in DOB. He has an earpiece in his ear. This is why we can't hear anything. Then he gets information. We don't know what was said, but when the officer gets back to his car, he runs his name in DOB through his mobile data terminal, his MDT. Name pops hot. He's a wanted person, armed and dangerous. It doesn't say for what. It just says violence, armed and dangerous. And the computer is speaking this to him, which is freaking awesome. And then the officer asks for another unit. But prior to that, because I left out one critical detail, prior to that, he told the gentleman, look, you're not allowed to be here. They don't want you here. They want you criminally trespassed. So we got to write you a form to let you know you're criminally trespassed. You're not going to be arrested or anything like that because he doesn't know the guy's wanted for murder yet. So then he walks back to the car and he asks for another unit to step it up because now he finds out he's 1099. He's a wanted person. So then he grabs the clipboard. Here I am thinking he's going to drive the car closer. This is not what he does. He grabs a clipboard and is still trying to play in with the scenario that he's going to go on ahead and issue him this citation. When he walks towards the guy, if you are a person who reads body language, you got to pay attention to the subtleties of the signs because this guy did not want to close the distance like he had previously done before. He started to back away and would not allow himself to be boxed in. None of these cops picked up on that. And so by the time the guy figured out, the officer goes on the passenger side rear quarter panel where the trunk is, right-hand side for those of you all who are not paying attention, right-hand side, tries to get the guy to come into this circle through this level of compliance. He's not paying attention to no signs, no nothing, right? Guy books. Officer attempts to chase and he falls. And then they get into this half-ass chase, trying to catch him. They later catch him. But I'm like, you could have took this guy into custody so much quicker had you just dropped that clipboard and grabbed his ass when you were close, but you were too busy trying to get his compliance when you already got him. You could have boxed him in, but you didn't do that. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where I was going with that shit. Go to the question. I just upset by that. That was
so
horrible.
What came up was police challenge.
Yeah.
So police challenge is literally what I tell my students, where police can say words that we can't to make a person become compliant. Your equivalent is to scream, "Please don't move." Now, scream that real fast and see what it sounds like.
What are you telling me to do?
No, I'm telling them. I don't want you screaming out loud. So like I said, if you can, think about what I just said. Please don't move and say it fast.
That's why we typically use one-word force commands. Stop. You know?
But listen to what I just said. Say, please don't move real fast.
Please don't move.
What does that sound like to you?
Police don't move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Please don't move, said extremely fast, sounds like police don't move.
Right.
Yeah.
So as long as it sounds enough like something else to get, what do we always say, Mike? We want to modify the person's behavior. If I say, please don't move, I'm asking you nicely,
please don't move.
Please don't move.
But it sounds
and when it's recorded,
right.
And when it is recorded, and someone says, no, he was acting like a cop. No, listen to what I said. Please don't move. You thought I said, please don't move, but guess what? In a sense of what I love, John says, that chemical cocktail, when that chemical cocktail dumps, your hearing isn't as well as you wanted to believe it. So whatever criminal heard me say, please don't move, and thought I was the cops, and it stopped them from doing what they was doing. Mm-hmm. Did I not make my point?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's your police challenge.
And so on TikTok, Harper was like stealing that line. I hope you're talking about the shooting them to motivate them to modify their behavior. Got to be careful on using that word. Like we said, you would hear the shoot to kill or shoot to stop the deadly threat. We were talking about, and this was a show some Wednesdays back
last year.
Yeah.
I want to say it was right after Kilo Romeo.
Yeah, it was, instead of shooting them to stop the deadly threat, we got to be careful because it is important to make sure that we are communicating the right things when it's time, not before. And I'm telling you, if you are a victim No one vomits more to the police about what happened than a person who believes they are, in fact, the victim.
Right.
Man,
And you can't wait to tell your story.
Right.
And,
man.
you know, I was just talking with Dave McDermott today. Awesome guy. Awesome guy. I was just talking with him today. So many people just blurt out stuff and they forget Ohio versus Rayner, 532 U.S. 17, 2001. The purpose of the Fifth Amendment is you don't know the complexities of a criminal investigation and the innocent statements that could be innocent in any other context could provide evidence for the government to use against you. This is why it is very important that there are plenty of instructors out there, none of whom are here in this screen or who have ever been in this show, but there are plenty of instructors who use that police rhetoric. And I got to be honest and say, when I was teaching cops, we would repeat the same stuff. We didn't shoot to kill. We shot to stop the threat. Well, civilians, stop still means kill. So you got to be careful about that. We conducted an action to motivate them to modify their behavior or to change their behavior. We didn't look, it's a possibility it could have killed them. It's a possibility that they could live. We don't know that these are going to be the outcomes. They're just likely.
Mm-hmm.
And so because they're just likely, you got to be careful about what you say. And if you don't know what to say, at least say, I was the victim of a crime. I need medical attention. I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights. I want my lawyer. If you can get those 4 things out and just those 4 things, that is activating your legal be quiet. And why do I say
of shut the hell up?
Yeah, and I'm going to say activate your legal be quiet because there's another United States Supreme Court case, Salinas versus Texas. Look it up. Don't take my word. I'm just a vessel. I'm no one, right? Your silence can be used as an indication of guilt against you. So if you think that you can sit here and just,
Wow,
that's not going to work. You have to activate your legal be quiet. How do you activate your legal be quiet? Officer, I was a victim of a crime. I need medical attention. I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights. I want my lawyer. And you don't have to say it in a nasty ass tone. You can say it in a victimly tone. Remember, you're the victim.
victimly. I like that.
Because I invoke my Fifth Amendment. No, that's too much. You don't sound like a victim. You sound like something that the government can use to say you're an angry black or an angry white or an angry Hispanic. They're going to use those labels. Go. I'm sorry.
I'm glad that we're talking about this because, like, Saturday. So obviously, and I'm referencing how we continue to, what we continue to say is when we're altering their deadly behavior. Okay. Saturday, I had the pleasure of being at a veterans event, which was outstanding. But I literally spent, now mind you, south of 80, there tends to be a little bit of different thought process when it comes to self-defense and things of that nature. So I spent the majority of the event having the same conversation over and over again because every person I talked to was, you know what I mean? They come up and start talking, and it's obviously, well, shoot to kill or shoot to stop the threats. Or the best one that I heard is my instructor told me to shoot so that there was only one side of the story.
Wow.
I said, that is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And now, obviously, I'm getting, you know what I mean, bright-eyed and bush-tailed looks like, what? Like, no, I only want to be able to tell my side of the story. I was like, I get the thought process, but here's the problem with that. Okay? You've taken shoot to kill and put that on steroids.
Yes.
You have blatantly said, I am going to go past, you know what I mean, shoot to kill and self-defense. I'm just going to make sure they can't talk. So I can't stress it enough, and when we've stressed it enough time and time again, in the current state of the society, what you say matters. Even if you're out with friends, what you say matters. What you post on social media matters.
Trust. Yes. Yes.
Because God forbid you press that trigger, friends and family are getting questioned as far as your character and your morals. Okay? Your social media is going to get ran through like Mar-a-Lago did.
Oh.
Damn, shots fired.
So literally what you say, it matters.
Yeah.
And the problem is that obviously us as instructors, we're trying to retrain some of that mentality that has been put into our students that are now coming to us again for renewals and things like that. We got to try and correct these inefficiencies now.
Right.
So that way they're better protecting themselves. God forbid they ever have to press the trigger or be involved in a self-defense incident across the board. You know what I mean? Press the trigger, you pull your knife, you know what I mean? And obviously you use that. Use a baseball bat, whatever the case may be that you use to defend yourself. What you say matters. And so literally spent that entire day trying to re-educate people. Do I know if they took it home or not? Don't know. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? They could have looked at me and, hey, that guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. All right, whatever. We can lead them to water. Can't make everyone drink.
What were you going to say, Marquise?
I was letting Kevin know I sent it to him.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad one of us. Yeah, I saw it in the chat. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We got to be careful because got to be careful. So Michael Padilla asked the question.
Is that the self-defense round question?
Yeah, best self-defense caliber is 10 millimeter 38 super auto 357 SIG 5x7 5.7 by 28. We want to know. I'm gonna tell you this about 5.7 by 28. Whether or not it works, that's a whole nother conversation we can have. That when you're out of ammo, where you gonna get more 5x7 from? Who you know is exotic shit on the street?
Right.
Gang bangers.
Right. Well, you're gonna be next to Tukey and them, you might be all right. But I'm gonna tell you this.
Tukey, Magni.
Huh?
Tukey, Magni.
I'm just saying.
Mag.
Tukey's damn well rocking the 9, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's true.
Ain't
Okay, so I need the person who's running Tukey then. Who's running the streets with a K?
5.7. Those mofos, they'll run 38, you know what I mean, super before they run 5.7.
So my honest answer, who was that asked that question?
Michael Padilla.
Mike, my answer to that is the biggest caliber you can carry and shoot accurately.
Right.
Is your best round for personal protection and self-defense. Now, personally, can I shoot 45? Yes. Do I carry 45? No. I carry 9. And I carry 9 not because I need all the bullets or I need all the ammunition, but because it's the most common round that I know if I see another gun on the ground, either A, I can pick up that mag, take their rounds out, put it in my magazine and keep it rolling, or B, grab their gun and just start rocking and rolling with it.
Outstanding.
All right.
Yeah. I'm an equal opportunity asshole. So whatever is available, I'm going to use, but 9 is what I carry.
That's it. Yeah.
And CZ is what I carry.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, the reason why I referenced 38 Super is because that's the desired round for higher ups in the cartel.
Well,
yeah.
Their 38 Super stash isn't too scarce.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody in the comments, anybody in the audience want to come up and ask some questions or something like that, you got to cam up because of trolls, but I got no problem with that. Or if you got questions or comments, stuff like that, same thing with you all on TikTok. If you want to come up, ask questions, you can come on over to YouTube, Instructor Mike. I'm about to drop the link. If you want to come up, or if you got a situation question too, right? Situation question. This is a class.
Yeah. We down for answering stuff.
Hell yeah. It's a class. I just dropped the link again. If you're in YouTube, it's already pinned to the top, but it's a class, you know. Ask those questions now. You don't always get the opportunity, especially instructors who don't mind answering them and will, if we don't know, shit, we all got computers. We all around computers. So, it's easy, but it's not really too many questions that we typically don't know the answer to.
Speaking of class, so you mentioned Dave McDermott earlier.
Yes.
September 27th, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. if you are in Illinois and close to Bourbonnais, Chicagoland area. Dave McDermott will be coming to our office for 2 hours to talk to people.
Great guy.
Essentially what it is he's coming out, obviously, for people to go through all the what ifs and all that good stuff that tend to roll through people's minds, and go through again what you should be saying to the police, and what is the aftermath after being involved in a self-defense incident.
Yeah.
Being that he is a criminal defense attorney and literally one of the premier criminal defense attorneys. The cost for that is actually only $20, and that is actually a donation to a veterans organization. So it's coming out. You can ask your questions, hang out with Dave for a couple hours, and then obviously help benefit a local veterans group. September 27th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah, West Side.
Great guy.
And since he brought up classes,
yes, Christy, you can find out about that on our Facebook.
And since he brought up classes, September 11th, I'll be doing a covert carry handgun class again, since a lot of people asked me about it, to do it once more before the year is out. So that will be September 11th. That's out in Kankakee. We'll be going over certain types of tactics and certain types of holsters, the type of gear you should and should not carry, the pros and cons of everything you do want to use and carry as far as your holsters, as well as certain techniques that people should know how to do, like be taught how to drop stuff, and also understanding how to avoid, I'm going to say avoid because stuff happens, how to avoid being shot in the back. AKA when you have your blue on blue incidents or your blue on whatever you want to call the color of a civilian. So one of the things I always talk about, and I brought it up in Mike's class, is the company called DSM. It's a don't shoot me sash and all the other good stuff. The civilian version looks like this. Where this unwraps, snaps, and then you just throw it over your body.
You got it. Oh, have you always had it, or did you get it after you showed me?
I had to get it after I showed you, because I was like, okay, let me make sure I go get them, so then that way. Yeah. And then I need them for class anyway, because I'm gonna go over this in class.
Yeah.
Again, because we're talking about deploying these either right before you go into an incident or after you have shot.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by this stuff, is because this company, it actually vets you to make sure that you are a concealed carrier. And what you do is, again, if I drew and I popped and I stopped the threat, I get behind cover, I flip this out, I throw it on, and then I get into what I need to go do. If I need to go towards a threat to go clear some rooms or whatever else, then at least if the cops show up,
it's on my back too. That's right. And if you could see Armed Citizen on that tank truck back, you could
exactly. You can see it on my back. I know they can see it on your little back ass individuals.
Right. I got one that says Guardian. So
yeah. Yep. And again, look how easy it is to put it away.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
Now, Sequenia Dominis Domina.
That worked. Go ahead.
Hey, I got your back, Canvas. I know how it is.
That was a random. Right?
Sorry about that. That's why I stay muted.
You're good. And no apologies. You're good.
And again, and the other thing we talked about too, for the people who are in the security world, or you work for like a what do you call it, the church, and you're
Church
part of the
security
security team,
Yeah.
they have these. Now, this one is a pocket version of what me and Mike have talked about. The one I normally carry, damn, I got it right here. The one I normally carry is this one, and this goes inside the waistband and it clips on.
Yeah.
This one, depending on the type of person you are, I take this one with me if I'm wearing a suit, because I don't wear stuff inside my waistband when I'm wearing a suit. So this goes in my pocket. It flips out, drapes around.
Yep.
And I'm in there.
Yeah.
Again, this is to avoid being shot in the back in a blue on blue or a civilian on civilian factor where everyone's in a hurry to draw their gun and shoot somebody. You want to avoid that stuff. And that's literally what you got right now is you got situations where everyone's not trying to figure out who's doing the shooting, and they want to start just shooting and helping out.
Right.
Which is, you know what they say, good initiative, bad judgment.
Thanks, TJ. Yeah.
What's that called again?
DSM?
DSM.
Well, it depends. Are you security or just concealed carry?
Security and concealed carry.
Okay, so if you're security, go DSM.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're a civilian, you got to go with the other one.
Yeah.
Because the other one is more based on civilian use, and that's the armed citizen one.
Yeah.
All right. And what's the civilian one? What's it called?
I'll put nope. I can't put the link up. I don't have those abilities.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I gotta make you an admin. I'm sorry. Shit.
Yeah, Marquise, subpar.
You said what?
I said, Marquise, we're subpar. We don't get those abilities.
That is not true.
Right.
Oh, all right.
For just 10 cents a day.
All right.
Mike and Christy get those abilities. We're not good enough.
Exactly.
No,
For just 10
damn
cents
that.
a day. You can help a brother.
Matter of fact, we're gonna fix that. I'm sorry.
I
I feel
You
bad
can help
now.
a brother make a post about a good product that may
Colonel
help
Sanders, what's
others.
going on?
Oh,
Hi.
shit.
I've been following you guys. Really appreciate what you're doing. I had two questions. Well, one because that vest. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good. You good?
That vest. Is there a precedent for people using that, or has it been used in at least one official self-defense incident? Because I'd be interested in getting one, but I'd rather not be the first.
So you can get them, but it's so long as you have a concealed carry, you're good. You can get that one for concealed carry.
Yeah, I'm
That's
North
the
Carolina.
version.
So I'm
So
North
you-
Carolina CCW, so I'd be eligible. I'm just curious about it.
Oh yeah. So the thing is this, it's not so much about being the first to use it, it's being the person who has it and hopefully doesn't have to use it.
Yeah.
And like I said, this one is a little bit big, but I mean, again, it depends on what you have, like a backpack or whatever else you're carrying. You know, and again, it's something. You want to make sure you have something that identifies you if you're going into a situation like that. Because like I said, you hear about all the time. Hell, you hear about cops shooting other cops because they walked into the situation. They're like, well, oops, I didn't know he was a cop. Well, and again, everyone's not always in a uniform.
Well,
And
prime example, Jamel Robertson.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There's
You're
an
right.
example. Police
You're
obviously show up on a scene where they get called to an active shooting going on. The person that the police see, you know what I mean, holding someone at gunpoint and was actually bar security. And bar security couldn't obviously register anything that was being said because they were in the heat of that moment of that chemical cocktail. Didn't hear shit that was going on.
I sent it in the private chat so you can add it, Mike, since you know we don't have that type of juice.
Oh no. What's up, Jeremy?
May I ask another question?
Absolutely.
What is you guys' take on carrying or having maybe in your car equipment for in case of a shooting, like a tourniquet or what is it called? The stocking chest wound,
Yeah.
chest heals, or
Yep.
So an IFAC,
guys-
basically, like an individual first aid kit.
would you recommend that if I don't use it, and then could I be culpable for not attempting to save the person, or
So
You could never be
civilian, you do not have a duty to act.
Right. You can never be cold.
Okay. Yeah, you don't
After
have
that.
a duty to act. Yes, we will always recommend that you have some type of first aid kit with but here's the other aspect of it. You better get training with it because you can actually do more harm than good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I depending on my situation or what I have on, I usually have a first aid kit around not first aid, excuse me, a trauma kit on my ankle.
Okay.
So I'm a firm believer if you learn how to take a life, you better learn how to repair one too.
Yeah.
So make sure you find some type of stop the bleed course,
No, I was TCCC in the Marines.
something along those lines. Train how to tourniquet, how to use chest seals, all that good stuff.
Outstanding.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta go. Gotta tend to my fatherly duties. But send me
Okay.
that link to
Okay.
the civilian
Bill.
vest also. I got the DSM for security, but I wanted to get the civilian one also.
Bet.
Okay.
I just sent it's in the
Yeah, we
I
put it
think
in
Mike
the
put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, then. I'll go back and check it out.
Bet.
Yep, I just put it up again.
Okay.
All right, man. Be safe.
All right.
Hey, continue being a good daddy, man.
So
I just want, hey, before you rock out, you matter. I just want to tell you that.
I appreciate that, man.
You matter.
You matter too.
Outstanding. All right, man. All right, what's up, Jeremy? Colonel Sanders, are you done with all the
Oh
chicken?
yes, I wasn't. I was just wanting to ask these questions. I don't want to be on camera. It's a little awkward for me.
Understood.
Okay, you're good.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, buddy.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Jeremy, what's up?
Not much. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I sent you a couple of links a few weeks ago. What's going on in my neighborhood?
Yeah, you did send that to me. I'm extremely busy. I will check those links out. Unless you want to talk about them now, it's up to you.
Yeah, I would like to because I talked to the officers and they say not to shoot at them.
You said you talked?
Yeah, to the police officers and they say not to shoot at him. Because he's up there shooting across the street from my house.
Yeah, so if you're talking about, and thank you very much for that, Guardian Explorations. So the videos that you sent me, I saw them. They weren't long at all.
No.
And these were, well, if you want to explain the situation so Marquise and everybody else can get the gist of it so we can all comment.
All right. Well, about a month ago, these people moved in. We're a tight neighborhood. We know everybody. We have parties and stuff, but they never want to, talk to us or anything. And next thing we know, the house is getting shot up.
Yours are across the street?
Okay.
Across the street.
Okay.
Because if it would have been my house, I'd have fired back.
From inside or outside?
They're firing from the outside.
Okay.
The house. They're sneaking up and just shooting the house up. I can send a link if you would like.
I think what's his name saw it.
Yeah. So what's your question? Can you shoot?
Yeah, can I shoot back at them or?
It depends. Where do you live at?
I live in Rockford,
Okay.
Illinois.
So here's my question. Are you comfortable with getting involved in a situation that doesn't concern you?
No, not really.
So essentially,
My first thing was to do is put my kids in the back room.
well,
and my wife.
tell everyone is this: if you're not ready to go to jail and if you're not ready to die for that person, you might want to stay out of it. Now, by law, could you be justified? Possibly. Again, context dictates everything. We are capable of defending other life.
Right.
But again, are you genuinely prepared to insert yourself into a situation that isn't directly towards you?
No.
So that's the better question that I would say. Because again, if it doesn't affect you, if what does Marquis say? If it ain't affecting your paycheck,
Not my monkey,
house,
not my circus. That's the shit.
not my monkeys, not my circus.
Not my circus. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're gonna end it with that because that's a great way to end the answer to that question.
I just didn't want to put myself in that situation, you know. I mean, I still went out there, but
And no, you shouldn't, because your main reason is right behind you watching television.
yep.
Oh,
I'm a firm believer, not my monkey, not my circus. Ain't nobody worth my life except for my family and people I love. And I said love, not like. I mean, sometimes I like a lot of people. I don't love you, but then I like a lot, but I love a lot of people that I don't like.
Yeah, like me.
oh,
You my brother. That don't even count. Like, and it was crazy too, because I was doing a rifle class on the 13th and was so tempted to come down and kick it with you, but I was so damn exhausted. I was like, dude, there's no way I can do it.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
There's no way I can do it. But yeah, and my thing is getting involved with certain stuff, man. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Unless you know all the details surrounded by it, I would never get involved.
Right.
You know, as a person,
from my experience, the fact that they wanted to be disengaged from the neighborhood was for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Usually that reason means that they are doing something that they don't want anyone to be involved with, which then means if the house was getting shot up, again, they were involved with that they didn't want anyone else to be involved with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll leave it at that.
Right.
The best you can do is grab your family, make sure they're in a safe place, call the cops, and let Jesus do what he gonna do.
Yep.
Because
I did not talk about that on here. I talked about that on Instagram. But okay, did you all get a chance to see the video of the lady from Atlanta and the Atlanta officer who used force? Did you all get a chance to see that?
I have not. I'll have to look into that one for the next time.
You got a quick video?
Yeah. We do have video.
I said it gotta be a quick video.
He said, "Not my money, not my circus." No, it's not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah. Before we do that, I'm gonna have to bow out on this one.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So, regretfully,
we're gonna do a. We're gonna be back next Wednesday. Because Katie's been out there playing on the lake.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
he done got clean shaven and everything.
What? I didn't know he shaved his. I just got through talking to him today. I didn't know he shaved.
So, all right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later on.
All right,
John.
brother,
be safe.
Later.
Yeah, we could talk about that probably next Wednesday, because it is a situation to talk about. But I used to comment a lot of the time on law enforcement use of force, and I can still do that, but I don't know what value that would bring to you all as the civilian populace, because that doesn't tell you how to handle. Well, it does tell you how to handle that situation.
I kind of want some French fries now, man.
Make sure they got salt and they're not lukewarm. Oh shit!
That's a damn shame. Y'all talked about the French fries so much. I'm like, damn. Do I really want to go out at 9:30 at night to grab some McDonald's French fries? And I hate to say it, all answers are pointing to yes.
Ooh. Guardian Explorations. First of all, I want to say thank you for the compliment that you said earlier. I've been meaning to address that. What about the bystander effect? You are involved by having knowledge of the event taking place. How is failing to act, regardless of the consequences, justifiable by saying, I got to go home and they didn't? I need more context.
And I don't know about the I got to go home and they didn't factor.
Yeah. And thank you for your service too, Guardian Explorations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need a little bit more context.
I need more context
on
on that.
Yeah, because the whole thing is about the bystander effect. There's a bystander effect to be a good witness. There's a bystander effect to treat the wounded.
Right.
There could be a bystander effect to say, okay, it's better if I get out the way and call the police and call an ambulance. So yeah, I need more context. I don't want to give an answer to that one because that sounds like a rabbit hole.
You said you're gonna get there and the fries are gonna be room temperature and soggy. God damn it.
First of all, what you're supposed to do is order your fries with no salt.
I got you, Matt. Hold on.
With salt packets.
Fair enough.
That's what you're supposed to do. Like, let me get an order of fries, no salt, because they got to make it fresh. And let me go ahead and get a couple of salt packets about you.
Yeah. He said participation is voluntary in many ways. What time is it? 9:46? Okay.
9:46?
I'm sorry, 9:39. All right, Mike.
Yeah.
He said bye you all later, Christy and Mike. All right, Mike, be safe, man. Yeah, so Jeremy, I don't recommend getting involved because the thing is, after having seen that video, okay, I don't want to say his name, but I'm going to because he had an interesting point in what he said. So we're talking about Commander Dave Brown from Detroit Urban Survival Training, right? I know. But when the guy has good information, it's cool, right? So there's a thing called positive, neutral, negative perception, threat perception. I love that he said that when he was on Colion Noir. He's absolutely right. You could look at something that appears to be negative, but then you got to, especially given the view that you're viewing it from, what's the positive, what's the neutral, and what's the negative perception? Now, looking at what you saw in those videos, it's clearly all negative. Like, I mean, there's no reason to shoot into a house indiscriminately except on some gangbanging shit. But the context that the question is, and the context is, you don't know if they're fighting between rival gangs, right? Next thing you know, you shoot, you don't see what's coming by, you hit somebody else, and then now they're going to come back with their crew, and they're going to shoot into your house. So you actually invited yourself into the danger that wasn't meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you got to move. And so now you got to move to Houston. I don't know why Houston. I just like shit should have been on the first 48.
In that case, everybody can shoot, and it's okay.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's all it is that just putting yourself. It takes a couple of seconds to figure out your next move, and that's the thing people don't understand. You literally have 2 seconds to figure it out.
That happens fast.
Oh yeah, and it happens real fast. And that's why I was telling everybody 2 seconds is the number you got. And the reason why I say 2 seconds, that is literally assessing a threat, because I think you're supposed to be able to assess a threat in 0.75 seconds. And then draw your gun, which leaves you with 1.25 seconds to draw your firearm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like, when in certain situations, I've won millions of gunfights. Want to know how? My ass wasn't there in the first place.
Oh, that's it.
I'm a champion, man. Every gunfight I've been in, I've won. All million plus. Because either A, I wasn't born yet. B, I wasn't there. Or C, it was in a whole nother continent that I didn't even have to worry about.
That's it.
Right.
Fucking Guardian Explorations. We're going to end with this one. I mean, as I have a firearm, I can stop the escalation of violence when it has already been taken there, and I choose to hide and call the police. Wait unless I am directly in danger to do something. Yeah. Wait unless I'm directly in danger. Well, I see why Marquise is doing that. Because, okay, so, and I'm going to get to your question, Dale Jackson. Do I have to wait there? See, I don't have to wait there. Like, I can just get out of there. Like, they're not shooting at me. And it's like, if you're not prepared and I don't know if that was Marquise or I think that was John. Well, we've all said it. All three. It was Marquise, me, John. If you're not prepared to die, you're not prepared to go to jail by it, don't do it. Like,
so, and like I said, the perspective, look at what you're saying. You can stop the escalation of violence. So say, for example, I see a gangbanger shooting at a playground.
I love these questions.
I see a gangbanger shooting at a playground versus I see a gang member shooting at another gang member. Can I stop the escalation of violence? Yes. Do I want to get involved with two gangbangers shooting at each other? No.
No. Hell no.
So again, that's why I say context, because technically that is an open-ended statement about saying I have the ability to shoot to de-escalate the violence, because what type of violence is it? You know, what if it's two females fighting? Do I need to get involved? No. What if it's a man beating on a woman? Do I need to get involved? Maybe. But as a person who's been stabbed in the back,
hell no,
by the woman who I thought I was saving, literally, I have the scar. Again, that context, that knowing what situation am I getting into. Again, I have the freaking scar on my spine where a person literally used a fingernail file and stabbed me in the back because I was beating up her pimp, not realizing it was a whole pimp situation. So again, it literally depends, because there's this whole thing. Yes, I'm with you. Legality versus morality. I'm with you 100%, but the situation does not always read the same. And that's the disadvantage. If my wife was in danger, if we downtown Chicago, she says, hey, I'm gonna go into the store real quick. And let's say this is that one day I decided I had a cigarette. Okay. I don't smoke. I smoke cigars. I'm a grown ass man. But I'm outside having a cigar. She goes into that store. About 2 minutes later, into my cigar, I hear gunshots. I'm not going to run away. My wife is in there. I'm going to do what I need to do to go get my wife out of that situation. So again, the context plays a huge part. If I saw a kid, that's kind of touchy. Somebody said, what if you saw a kid that you thought was being kidnapped? But sometimes kids play with their parents like, nah, get away from. So I'm like, nah, that's kind of touchy. That one's kind of touchy. Teach your kids to fight adults that are trying to kidnap them on that one, and make it obvious that they're trying to fight for their lives, please. Because there are some, I remember literally living in Oak Lawn, sitting in my living room, and I heard a girl screaming, help, help, they're trying to rape me. And it freaked me the hell out. So I grabbed pistol, I put in holster, I run outside. It's a girl playing with boys, and it was a joke. But she was screaming, they are trying to rape me. These are words that no father who has a daughter wants to hear. But the kids were playing around. So I came out the crib, strapped up, ready to go. Let's get into some drama. And it literally was kids playing around. So, yeah, it's touching.
Yeah. Anthony, what you do Z's for? What does that mean? If you trying to say you sleep, you gotta get out this show, boy.
He on the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
I don't know. Oh, y'all talking about me? No, I was multitasking. Y'all funny. I thought I was sleeping and shit. Look.
Yeah, but like I said, the not my monkey, not my circus is a little bit. I say that, but it's deeper than that. Right. A micro nap. Stop it.
Another question.
Hold on, that has happened. Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
How young is too young for teaching your kids gun safety?
Maturity.
Yeah, okay. I don't look at age. I look at ability.
Yep.
Because my
I look at
40-year-old
maturity.
helps me take apart and clean my shotguns for me.
Well,
And he can already put them back together.
There you go. And much to that question, somebody asked some questions up here. Dale Jackson said, why is there a stigma in the black community about guns? It's so hard for me to believe that people are willing to give up their right to own a weapon for personal protection. When you've been eating victim shit, you forget how it smells and tastes. I don't know if I can put it better. Like, look, a person will sell you a car they know you will drive. You know, they will sell you, we will help you, we will protect you, but never do. Like, I have never heard in the wake of all the protests against the police, so many people who are anti-police calling for the police, asking them, why won't you do anything? And not going into quality instructors' classes to learn what they need to learn so that they can protect themselves legally, the right way.
So my question to you is, when you say, why is there a stigma in the black community about guns? Are you saying within our community or about our community?
That's a great question too.
Because there is both ways.
Okay, Jeremy.
So, for example, if we're talking about within our community, I say it's based on a lack of ignorance. And the word ignorant is not bad.
Right,
it just means a lack of knowledge on a basic subject matter. Right. So I'm not calling anyone dumb. But there are many people who are ignorant to guns based on the fact that they only see it in the negative light, which is people shooting people on a regular basis. But no one, again, is blaming the person. They're blaming the tool being used. You know, when we always talk about guns and stuff like that, I always bring it up, and I'm going to keep bringing it up. The NRA was one of the oldest civil rights groups that has ever existed.
You're right.
They were the ones who went to bat for African Americans to have guns to fight against the Klan. They were the ones who stepped up and said, hey, that's not right. They need the ability to protect themselves because they got the ability to shoot at them. So in my opinion, anything that involves gun control is a way back towards slavery. That's the way I'm going to see it. That's the way I'm always going to see it. An unarmed person is a slave.
Hey-o.
It's just the way it is.
That is the way
because
it is.
the way, no matter how you slice it, how do you control a populace? You disarm them. It happened during the Holocaust. How do you control a populace? You disarm them. You separate them. You isolate them. You alienate them. The groups that got separated right before the Holocaust, Christians, Masons. Think about that. Christians and Masons were the first people to be removed from Germany. Okay. Then came, so anybody who was a powerful group or associated with a powerful group got alienated and separated immediately so they would have no resistance when it's time for them to take over. What do you see now in America? You got black versus white, white versus brown, brown versus Asian. You got, for some reason, and I don't understand how it works, but someone will explain to me one day how Jewish is a nationality, not a religion. I don't understand it yet, but someone's going to explain to me one day. I don't know. But again, there's a divide that was wedged and formed in America. And then once that wedge was formed, when we have a thing called critical race theory, you got white privilege and all this other good stuff, the next thing that came up was, well, we need to start getting rid of guns. So wait a minute. You separated the populace, you alienated people, and now you want to get rid of guns. Sounds oddly familiar. Because you can't control people who can defend themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what tends to happen. And it's sad. Yeah. Because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, except for when it comes to guns. Think about it. there's a shooting with a criminal, guns need to be taken off the market. So your action of the criminal doing a bad thing made a big blown out reaction to removing guns. Yet, didn't someone's husband just was a victim of drunk driving? I say victim because he ain't gonna see no jail time. So you're a victim of drunk driving, and the court got stacked in your favor because the judge is going to be seeing it. Actually, funds a person that's in office, and certain stuff was removed because they didn't want certain things to happen.
Go to Matt. Go to P6 Firearm.
What's going on?
Look at Dave saying, "Mike, wake up." I'm not. Look, my eyes are that. Yes. Look at y'all. Yes, I am, but I'm not asleep. I'm listening. Matt H on TikTok. I'm shifting people to your page. So this wonderful gentleman who has always been providing great content on this page, this channel. Just is a great guy. What's up, Sergeant Johnson from Bomb Holder? What's up, man? What's going on? Marquise Miranda, P6 Firearms Training. He's got a YouTube channel. Just look up P6 Firearms Training. Those of you on TikTok, show him some love because he's not. Great instructors are people who can add a lot of value. You've been watching this live this entire time, man. This entire time. So you know the value, you hear the value. Don't be talking about my eyes was almost closed. That they were. Shit.
Yeah. And then, you know what? And I redid my video on Saturday about the devastation of firearms and on paper and
you did it? Good.
Yeah, I redid it. I haven't posted it yet on on YouTube. I need to do it because I got to do the
shorts.
Oh no, that's not a short one.
No, but what I'm saying is find a way to find a good 1 minute segment. Shorts are gonna, I'm telling you, just
So I'm gonna do more shorts eventually. But yeah, and that's something that people just talk. Oh my God, the devastation of a round, and when you see that this thing can take off limbs and it can do this, and I had to explain it. Any explosion, and you're at the center or close to the explosion, that's where it's most devastating. It's just science. It's just science. That's why when you see all these ballistic tests, when they show the ballistic gel and a person shooting at it, check and see the distance. Some of these people shoot ballistic gel at a close distance on purpose. Maybe it's because they don't want to miss, or to show the devastation of the round up close. But again, know the context and know why people are doing certain things, man. I feel like an armed society is a society you can't control and have a better opinion. The problem is that people in certain groups keep putting the wrong politicians. They do. A 9mm cannot blow your lungs out. No, it cannot. It cannot blow your lungs out your back. But unfortunately, fortunately, a 12 gauge slug can.
Ooh, yeah. All right, y'all. This was, again, a great impromptu show. Of course, I'm going to take certain segments, post them up different places, stuff like that. Make sure you go follow Marquise on his page. Make sure you follow Marquise on his page, P6 Firearms Training. He's got a covert class coming up. Y'all go show him some love, man. Y'all, come on.
Nobody want to train with me. I'm evil.
Listen, look, you can't be more evil than a casket. Look, that's weird. Okay, all right.
I'm about to say than the pallbearer. Oops, my bad. I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Oh, that's it.
The slipper they had a bad shoulder that day.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be streaming more. So we still got the show on Wednesday, 8 to 10. I'm gonna be streaming more because there's plenty of lessons that we can talk and stuff like that. So, all right, y'all go get some sleep. Stay safe. And again, we are at, and because Marquise is here, so now we could go on ahead and play the actual outro to the actual show because it ain't just me. Peace. Going up there to Chicago with Season Service Survival. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Friends here. Y'all,
Because you have to understand that self-defense is a serious business. We do carry courses, advanced courses. Make a difference.
one of the tactics that would increase or decrease
in the two-way community.
All right, y'all introduce yourself.
Let's just go kick. Give him 100.
Johnny You already know what it is. I saw that, and I've done my share. I'm about to put yours up here too. Wow, look at this. My comment is,
I want.
Stadium be back 8.